What's up, guys? So today I have a really fun and exciting video for you all. I'm going to be unboxing every Mac Miller record in my collection. I have a lot of Mac Miller records. As you guys know, he's my favorite artist of all time. Mac was kind of the reason I got into vinyl collecting because I felt like I needed to own everything that he ever put out physically. I didn't like just having it on streaming services. So yeah, he was a major reason why I started collecting vinyl after he passed away. Even beforehand, I was collecting his records. But yeah, I have so many records of his. I have box sets, I have 7-inch records, I have bootlegs, I have official records. I have a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah, I'm really excited to show you guys my entire collection. It is massive, it is huge, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. If my dog is if you see me with my hand down here, it's because my dog's always in my videos. He loves being here, but he also loves eating all of everything and my records as well. He'll try and eat the cardboard on them. So if you just see me kind of being a little distracted throughout the course of the video, it's because my dog's right here and I'm just trying to keep him, occupied and not crazy. Yeah, we're gonna show you every Mac Miller record that's in my collection, and I'm so excited for this video. I think it's gonna be really cool, really fun, and I'll just tell you guys about my memories with the project, maybe my memories of picking up the record, where I got it from, also my favorite songs off of the records. I'll show you a bit of the packaging as well, and yeah, we'll just go on this Mac Miller journey together. So let's get started. First up, we have the classic Easy Mac, but my Mackin' ain't easy. Now, this was the mixtape that Mac Miller passed around his hallways of Taylor Alderdice, which is his high school. Crazy to own this. This is a bootleg, but I don't care. I really don't care about bootlegs being bootlegs. If they sound good and the jacket quality's good, I have no problem with it. I just want it physically. You know what I mean? I do wish that it was official so I could give my money to the Mac Miller Fund, but there's only so much I could do. Once this comes out officially, if it ever does, along with all the other bootlegs I have, I'll gladly buy it. I have every official record he's ever released. So yeah, just a little disclaimer there. But yeah, this album, or mixtape I should say, is actually really good. He was 15, I think, or 16 when he made this, and the cover cracks me up. It's just him being I feel like he's just being a goofball, trying to look hard in the picture. It's just hilarious to me. But this project is really good for his age, and you could see why he built so much traction and so much popularity right away in his career, because there are some really good songs on his pretty much first known body of work that he released. Songs like Come Around, what else is on here? Cruise, J's on My Feet are all really good tracks, and like I said, it shows off his future ability to really rap, because he was doing it back then. But like I said, this is a bootleg, so if you open it up like this, on the back you have a kid's journey. I don't know why they put that back there. With bootlegs you get weird stuff like that sometimes, and then you have this picture of Mac that they probably pulled off of Google somewhere. But I appreciate them making an actual sleeve, and this bootleg is actually really good quality. The sound quality on it is really good as well. But yeah, it's on a white vinyl. Love this record. So glad I could own this. It was really hard to find. I think I got it off of, don't quote me on this, but I think it was Rollin' Rex. It's not up on there anymore, and I don't know where you could find this, but I did get it off of Rollin' Rex at one point in time. All right, next Mac Miller vinyl record. This one comes with a lot of memories for me, because this was actually the first record that got me into Mac Miller. It's the first thing I ever heard from him. I downloaded it off of Dat Piff, and that is The High Life. The High Life is just a classic mixtape. I remember, man, I was young when this came out. I was in middle school or early high school when this dropped. I think it was 8th grade when this dropped. And I remember downloading this off of Dat Piff. This was that Wiz Khalifa era where he was dominating, and then Mac Miller came onto the scene, did a couple songs with Wiz, And yeah, he exploded onto hip hop scene with this record. Really classic songs on here. There's the back of it. The song with Wiz, Cruise Control, is one of my favorite like nostalgic songs of all time. I love that song. Growing up, I used to play that all the time. We have Live Free on this album. We have, what else is really good? We have Cruise Control. We have Just My Imagination. We have Another Life. We have The High Life. There's a really good, solid track list on this thing. And yeah, this kind of brought us into that new world of Mac, a lot different than the Easy Mac days. But you know, he was all about smoking weed, partying, and kind of just being a kid at this point in time. And all this music, it is young and kind of immature, but it's also really good and stands for the test of, it stands for the time period that it was made. Like, this music was very good in that time period. And like I said, every time I hear this, I just revert back to 2009 or 10, whenever this was released. I think it was 2009. So yeah, just a awesome project, and I still bump this to this day. I think the reason I became such a Mac Miller fan is I was in, like I said, in 8th grade when I first discovered him, and I kind of grew up with him throughout the years. As he matured in his discography, I also was maturing, and all the stuff that he was talking about was on par with what I was living, in the sense of, you know, I was going to parties and Mac Miller was the guy at every party being played. You know, people were trying to dress like him, wearing snapbacks. Like, the crave was real for Mac Miller back in those days. Like, you had to be there to understand it, but like every white kid in the suburbs wanted to be Mac Miller. Like, that's why I feel like he just lasted so long, because he showed his maturity as an artist through his music, and kind of everybody who was with him from the start grew up with him as well. But yeah, I got this shirt in 2009 and I still have it to this day. This is one of his original drops for his merchandise. So yeah, let's show you the vinyl for this. This is a really good bootleg as well. Don't remember where I got this from, to be honest with you. I think it's Rollin' Rex. Rollin' Rex is like one of my #1 spots for bootleg vinyls. They're really good quality, pretty much like official records. And yeah, that is the High Life. Really cool to own, and yeah, just great nostalgia here. Next up, we have one of my favorite projects ever, and it's definitely top 3 Mac Miller for me, and that is Kids. Kids, my life would be different without Kids in it. That sounds ridiculous to say, but it's true. The amount of memories that I've created with this album in my childhood and teenage years is unbelievable. This thing dominated the scene, like dominated music, dominated hip hop for so long. Like I said, everybody in high school was spinning this, like not spinning it, but playing it. I would go to like backyard parties, you know, that my parents didn't know about. I would throw parties at my house, and this was like the music playing. It was rebellious. It just described the feeling of being 14, 15, 16, 17, kind of like just that teenage life. It just described it so well, and it was so relatable at that time. And you know, I just remember this bumping throughout my entire high school career, like from freshman year all the way to senior year. This was on repeat. I remember actually on my senior skip day playing senior skip day like 5 times, because I was like, oh, you know, like, I'm so cool, like Mac Miller did it, like here I'm doing it. Like, it was just like one of those funny things where like it just fits that time period of my life, and I feel like it did that for a lot of people. You know, like songs like Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza and Nikes on My Feet are just so iconic. Good Evening is such a bar heavy track. He just really shows off what he can do on that. It's just so many good songs. Get 'Em Up, Outside, dude, that song's unbelievable. It still holds up to this day too. Like this whole mixtape, I listen to it a lot. It's probably my most played Mac Miller album or mixtape ever. So yeah, Knock Knock was a massive party hit off of this. Like I said, people were walking around trying to wear snapbacks, wearing backpacks that literally had nothing in it. I literally remember going to parties in high school with a backpack on. Why? I don't know. Mac Miller was doing it. And it was like frat rap was the thing back then, and Mac Miller was the king of it. And yeah, snapbacks, backpacks, plain tees, like the rosary beads around your neck era, dude. I don't know if any of you guys like could relate to that, but it was happening around me a lot. The influence of Mac Miller, I think being on the East Coast too, I live in New Jersey, so I think being like kind of on the East Coast also, like we experienced more of the influence of him. But yeah, it was just a fun time to be living, and very nostalgic. Every time I turn on this record, it literally reverts me back to being like 15, 16, 17. So I actually went to the kids' bleachers when I was in Pittsburgh. I was doing like a little Mac Miller tour, and also went to go see a Steelers game there. And I actually went to the bleacher spot, so that was really cool to see. It was hard to find actually, but it was really cool to see and to be there. And yeah, it was cool to walk around his whole like kind of, you know, where he grew up. You know, you see Taylor Alderdice, you see the bleachers that he went to, you see where they filmed Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza, you see Blue Slide Park. So it's really cool in a respectful manner to do that. Really, really nice. So that is the kids. I'll show you the record real quick on this, and then I'll show you the official pressing that I have as well. So that is the bootleg pressing. I like getting bootlegs too sometimes, because sometimes they can't clear the photo because of copyright reasons. So this is the original cover, but as you'll see right here, it's missing the kids and the Mac Miller stamp. And that's why I kept this. I bought this before this ever released, and I kept it because of the original cover. It also has a little bit of original samples on it. Yeah, I have the official copy as well. This is limited to 500 from Fat Beats, and it's a really cool record. Sorry about my dog barking. He's being a little bit of a crazy man. But this is the original, the official cover and official record for Mac Miller. This was limited to 500 on Fat Beats, like I said. This comes on a really cool splatter vinyl record. Really, really nice. And on the other side, it says Most Dope on it. So this is one of my favorite records that I own as well. And it's really good to have this unofficial wax. It sounds really good. And if I'm listening to the album, I'm always listening to it on the official version. This also came with a giant poster. So you can kind of see that right there. I'm not gonna pull the whole thing out, but it's basically the original cover that I showed you from the bootleg. And yeah, just really cool. Glad they got this on official pressing, and iconic photo there. Next up, we have this follow-up mixtape from kids, and that is Best Day Ever. Best Day Ever was like it was a good mixtape. It didn't quite live up to the kids mixtape, but it did keep him very relevant and very in the game, in the mixtape game. He did numbers on this as well when he dropped it on Dat Piff. Like, he was top of the downloads, all that stuff. And there are some really, really iconic hits on here that projected him to be kind of one of the next big artists in hip hop. And that's what this album gave him that anticipation that he had for Blue Slide Park. And kind of, yeah, it just backed it even more, what he did from kids. Like, he was here to stay with Best Day Ever. Really good songs like Donald Trump, you know, kind of aged badly in some senses, but it's still a classic and one of his biggest hits ever. Another song that was played in so many high school parties that I was at. Even in college, they were continuing to play it. Just a massive hit. Best Day Ever is one of my favorite Mac Miller songs ever. There's something about that song that's just so nice. I don't know. The instrumental, the way he comes on it, the passion and I don't know, there's just something about that song that hits me every time. He also performs it really cool live. I saw him live twice, and he played that song twice with live instrumentation, and it was really, really cool. I'll Be There is also one of my favorite tracks off of here. I dedicated that to my mom a couple times on Mother's Day. It's a really nice song for his mother. Life Ain't Easy, which is a classic. You have All Around the World, Wake Up, Wear My Hat. Wear My Hat was massive on YouTube. Mac was like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, YouTube rapper ever at the time. And he's like a pioneer for YouTube hip hop, like the YouTube hip hop scene. Mac was the first guy like showing us the tour vlogs and showing us every tour stop he did. He used to have these videos called, oh, what was it? Somebody comment down below what the name of his tour videos were. He used to release like videos of every tour that he went on, and you get like him chilling with his homies and then going on stage. I forget what the name of the videos were, but they were so good and they were so fun to watch, and they gave you a insight into his personality and who he was. At that time, like I said, he dominated YouTube. He actually pulled more numbers and stuff like that on YouTube than any other platform. And yeah, it was really cool to see an artist figure out how to use social media so well. And Mac Miller's one of the few people that actually got big from social media alone. Social media wasn't what it is right now. It was way different, way harder to get any kind of buzz on it. So yeah, best day ever. This is the record, and then on the last record you have like a stamp of the outline of his face. So I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. You can kind of see it. Sorry, there's like a glare, but there you go. Yeah. This is an original pressing. A lot of the copies that I have of stuff are original pressings, which is cool. Because like I said, when he passed away, I went on a frantic spree of trying to find his records, and I got all the original pressings. This I bought used from a record store by me. And anytime I could find Mac out in the wild at that point in time, it was like a miracle, because they didn't really press any of his stuff. It was really hard to find, and he only had like a few copies out there. So when I found this, I was really excited. But yeah, really good mixtape. And then we'll go into the next one, because I have so many stuff here. I have to start going a little quicker, unless you guys don't care that this video is gonna be really long. But next I have I Love Life, Thank You. This was released in 2011, I believe, and it was for him getting 1 million followers on Twitter. It was kind of just like a thank you, and like, here you go, here's some music. And I really love this project. I actually kind of like it a little bit more in some senses than Blue Slide Park. And just because it's a little more rap based, like it's not as mainstream, it's a little more underground, it's a little bit more 90s boom bap. It's inspired by People Under the Stairs, by Tribe Called Quest, by, you know, that just kind of music. Like, I like Mac in that form a lot more personally. So yeah, I gravitated towards this more than Blue Slide Park. This was released before Blue Slide Park. And yeah, just some great tracks on here. Some of my other, you know, most nostalgic Mac Miller songs, like Willie Dynamite, Love Lost, People Under the Stairs. You know, just some really good tracks on here. There's a couple cool tracks. The one with Bun B, I think it's All That. That track's really cool too. And like I said, yeah, this was like a surprisingly really slept on and underrated Mac Miller project for a really long time. And true fans really know about this and really enjoy this. And it was funny when they released this on like streaming platforms pretty recently, everybody was like, oh, new Mac Miller project. Like all the people that hadn't really followed him for that long. And like all of us are just sitting here like, guys, this has been out since 2011, but still really cool. We got it up on streaming, and I hate gatekeeping anyone in the world. I'm so glad you found Mac Miller. I'm so glad you're enjoying his music, and I love that people could find this more accessibly and listen to it. I'm all for it. Blow Mac Miller up to the moon. I hope he gets all the love that he deserved when he was here. But yeah, this is off of Etsy that my wife bought for me for my birthday, or for Valentine's. No, she bought it for me for Valentine's Day like 4 years ago. And yeah, just a really cool thing to own as well. He has no official copy of this out yet, so this is a bootleg. It's a very good bootleg as well. Yeah, he needs to put this on official wax. I thought he was gonna do it for the anniversary, but he didn't. Next up, we have Blue Slide Park. Now, this is the original pressing. This is one of the first albums I bought for Mac Miller in my vinyl collection. This is just a really nice album to tell you where he comes from and to kind of give you a little background into his upbringing. It's just filled with hits. It's very positive. It's very upbeat. It does have like a couple of cool songs that kind of show you where he's going in terms of his music. And, you know, it's just, to me, this album actually probably made me a bigger fan for a longer period of time, if that makes any sense. Like when Blue Slide Park came out, I was already a fan for him for a while, but then he finally like started getting more commercial success. So you got like more merchandise, you got albums coming out, you have CDs coming out, he's more accessible, his tours are more accessible. People all around, you know, my school were listening to him, wearing his merch. So he was really mainstream at this point. He got a lot of slack for this album. I don't know why. I mean, in hindsight, it didn't mean anything. This album's great. But yeah, a lot of cool songs. Like Of the Soul is one of my favorite Mac songs. PA Nights as well. Under the Weather. There's a lot of really cool songs on here. Diamonds and Gold. Like, I swear, every girl that I had been in a relationship up to that point, if I broke up with them, Diamonds and Gold was the first song I was putting on my iPod and listening to. That song was so relatable back then for breakups. Same with Missed Calls, dude. Like those two songs were like my breakup ex-girlfriend anthems back then. And yeah, Party on Fifth Ave was a bop. Frick Park Market, I played maybe 200 times when it first came out. I was obsessed with that song. And Blue Slide Park, all those songs are really cool. I visited Blue Slide Park. I said this in the unboxing video for the other Blue Slide Park record I had. I visited Blue Slide Park. I'll throw a couple photos in here now for you guys as well. But I went down the slide and it was really just a special moment for me. And it was a really nice way to mourn Mac and to kind of think, you know, and experience, you know, kind of experience a part of his life and in a non-disrespectful manner. You know, that's the best way you could celebrate Mac Miller's life, is going to Blue Slide Park. You know, I sat there, I went on the swings with my wife, I went down the slide. There was like a bunch of kids going down the slide, which was great to see that the park was still alive and still living on. And I saw English Lane, and I saw, you know, it was just so cool. And it was a bucket list thing for me to do, and I highly suggest everyone doing it if you can. But yeah, there's a magic feeling when you're there. Like, I went to Frick Park Market and they have like all these photos of Mac there, and they have like a little book, and like every fan that stops by there, you could write into the book like a little message to Mac. And yeah, I went there, I wrote a little message to him in the book. I bought a sandwich, I bought some merch from Frick Park Market, and everybody there like loved Mac. Like, they all wanted to talk about him. Everybody working there loved him, and you just felt that energy, and it kept him alive, and it was really, really cool. Same with like, there's a bunch of murals and stuff throughout the city of Pittsburgh, and they're so beautiful, and it just keeps him alive, and you could feel that he really made an impact, especially for the city. And yeah, just really cool. This is on black wax. I'm not gonna really show you guys that one, but I'll show you guys the other record I picked up recently. This is the 5th anniversary, I believe, or 10th anniversary. I forget which one this is. But there's the gatefold. I unboxed this in another video, but I'll show you guys the record real quick because it's pretty cool. So yeah, really cool record. Next up, we have Macadelic. This is a bootleg of the original cover. Macadelic was a really cool time in Mac Miller's career because it was a massive shift in his career, in his sound, in his content of his music. Mac went from just being this like fun rapper, this frat rapper, to being a pretty serious rapper, but also showing off his true ability to rap. I feel like Blue Slide Park, he went through a lot of, you know, commercial woes and a very hard time in his career because of all the criticism the album got. So Macadelic, you kind of get a darker side of Mac, and kind of a side of Mac that is more like hesitant to be in the spotlight. He's also trying to navigate this newfound fame and all the things that come with it. He also started exploring drugs during this album. And yeah, and the result of it was really great music, really deep music. And this is like, a lot of Mac fans that just liked him for the fun stuff kind of stopped listening at this point. But the fans who really, you know, kind of wanted to grow up and mature with him really stuck with this album, I feel like. And yeah, this is just real hip hop. Like, this is Mac Miller showing us what he could do for the first time in his career. You know, not that the other stuff wasn't real hip hop, but like I said, it was a little more kiddish, childish, very amazing, and it captures that amazingly, and it's a very, those are beautiful bodies of work. Everything that he's created has been amazing, and stamps this time period of his life so well. It's so authentic to who he was. But so is this one, you know, this is kind of a coming of age mixtape. There's songs here that I can't believe he made at the age that he made this at. Like songs like The Question, 1 through 8, Fight the Feeling, Thoughts from a Balcony, Desperado. Like, this album is so good. Or mixtape, this thing is so good, guys. Like, one of my favorite Mac Miller projects. The introspection on it was so good compared to his past work. So I also have the official pressing of Macadelic. This came on a different like puff print cover. It was really cool that they released this on the anniversary for the mixtape. And yeah, really cool to have this on official wax. It sounds really good. And the wax on it's really, really nice as well. I'll pull it out for you real quick. But yeah, tricolor, really nice when it spins. One of my favorite looking records that I own. And like I said, this album really stood the test of time too. Like, it still to this day holds up. A lot of Mac Miller projects are like that. But yeah, I love Macadelic. Just, yeah, nothing else to say. I love it. Loud went so hard as a kid. I remember just like bumping that in my car when I turned 17. That song was crazy in the car, crazy. Next up we have Watching Movies with the Sound Off. An album that took that introspection from Macadelic and really brought it to a whole nother level. Watching Movies with the Sound Off was such an interesting album to me when it came out because I felt like I couldn't grasp the meaning of it at the current phase of my life that I was in, and it was so, I just wanted to understand the meaning of it, and I couldn't, so I listened to it over and over and over again, trying to grasp it. And like, I did, yeah, pick up on like certain things and certain tracks, but there was always like, why would I watch movies with the sound off? Why would I look at the birds? Why would I do all these things that you're like telling me? I don't know, it was very funny at that time period in my life because I just thought there was this like, there is a massive message to it, and I'll leave that to you guys for figuring out. But yeah, it was just funny. Like, I remember loving it because I was like, it was so obscure. Like, it was so obscure for me compared to anything else I was listening to. And the raps were really good on it as well. He had some of his craziest flows and bars on this album for that time period of his career. And also some really good singing tracks. He kind of started singing a lot more on this than his other albums. He did start singing on, you know, some of his projects, but I feel like he really leaned into it on Watching Movies, like on Euphoria and Remember and Someone Like You. Songs like that, Objects in the Mirror. He really started exploring his singing voice, and those are some of my favorite Mac songs from this project as well. Yeah, I saw him live for the first time ever with Watching Movies with the Sound Off in Asbury Park. It was an awesome show. He brought out Chance the Rapper and Meek Mill as openers. That was before they were kind of big. So yeah, I got to see Chance the Rapper perform acid rap when I didn't even know what it was yet because he didn't get big from it yet. And then like 2 months later, acid rap blew up, was one of my favorite projects. But yeah, he performed acid rap at the show right before Mac came on. And yeah, just a lot of memories to this album as well. And really good songs on here like Avion, SDS, The Star Room, Red Dot Music. We have Objects in the Mirror, like I said, Claymation. Really good tracks on here. I have the box set for this too, so I'll show you guys the box set. So here's the box set for Watching Movies with the Sound Off. I recently unboxed this in a video as well if you want to go look at that. I'm not going to unbox this whole thing right now, but it is on some really cool, I'll open it up, but yeah, it has actually the meaning of the album in here, so that's pretty cool to see as well. Yeah, the box set was a must-have, really nice, and that's another solid Mac Miller album. Next up we have Live from Space. This is a really important record to own for me. It's a bootleg. He never officially pressed this, but like I said, I went to the concert, I saw this live, and I saw him live for the first time with this Live from Space tour. And yeah, I heard all these songs live. So this was really cool to own because it kind of brings me back to that concert. And also there are the side D on this, so all the songs, like the last songs on the album are actually Mac Miller songs that he didn't put on the album. And some of my favorite songs on that, Exile and Earth, are unbelievable. Unbelievable tracks. Life, really good. Blackbush and In the Morning is really good as well. So yeah, this comes on 2 different colored wax. Comes on a white wax, and then it also comes on a red wax, also from Rollin' Rex. I believe they actually have this in stock right now. So if you want that, you can go grab that there. Really cool to own this. Actually, I want to go find this shirt for you guys. I have a Space Migration tour shirt for you guys. So here you go. Proof that I've been there. This is the t-shirt that I bought at the concert a long time ago for the Space Migration tour. And I was at Asbury Park, right there. So yeah, we'll never sell that shirt. That shirt goes for like $200 now, $300 now. We'll never sell that. On to the next one. This is really cool. So I made this record on a website that allows you to make records. I made this and I got it pretty recently actually, and I haven't really shown it off at all. But this is really cool to own, and it might be like one of like 5 in the world, because the only way that someone has this is if they did exactly what I did, and that is Run-On Sentences Volume 1 by Larry Fisherman. This thing came out so sick. I was a little worried because I like uploaded the photos and I didn't know if they would come out blurry. I mean, you do have like this little black border on the top that it kind of messed up a little, but it came out pretty nice. I mean, the sound on it's not the best compared to my other boots, but it still is really cool to own this as a Mac Miller fan. If you haven't checked out Run-On Sentences Volume 1 or 2, I highly suggest doing that. It's really cool to hear where Mac's producing was going at this time period, and the production's really cool. It kind of takes you on a musical journey, and you get lost in this for me. Like, this feels like you're kind of on space travel in a weird way. Like, I kind of just get lost. It's very atmospheric, a lot of cool samples in it, and yeah, I just had to own it. I'm gonna try and get the other ones too. I'm gonna try and get Volume 2 on wax eventually, and I'm gonna try and make the jukebox On and Beyond, and I believe that's all I would have left to make. Let me pull out the record. So the record, I put the little Larry Fisherman logo kinda in the middle there. So I thought that was just a nice touch. You know, he's got his rain jacket on, and yeah, shout out to Larry Fisherman. For Larry Fisherman for you, we have Vince Staples and Larry Fisherman's Stolen Youth. This is a Vince Staples album produced entirely by Mac Miller, aka Larry Fisherman. And this is a really cool project. Vince, one of my favorite Vince Staples projects ever. Just so good. To have him over Mac Miller, Larry Fisherman production is crazy. Highly suggest you go look at this if you haven't, and listen to it and tell me what you think about it. But ooh, I actually forgot what this looked like. This is pretty cool. That kind of reminds me of the Mac Miller self-care music video. Interesting. It's on a cool wax. Really cool to own Stolen Youth. And I'll tell you my favorite songs off of it. Favorite songs off of here would have to be Heaven, Guns N' Roses, and Sleep. Really good. Definitely check it out if you haven't. Next up, we have You by Mac Miller. This is a bootleg as well, but this is the original cover. They do have an official of this. I missed it. I don't know how. It's like $500 now, but I do love this cover a lot more than the one that they released. And yeah, You is a beautiful, jazzy, soulful, just awesome little body of work that Mac released under his alter ego, Larry Lovestein. Just really shows you how musically diverse he was. And the jazz on this thing is it's just so jazzy. I don't know how else to explain it. It just feels so authentically jazz. And even the voice, you know, fluctuations and kind of the imperfections in his voice really make this an even more authentic jazz record. And yeah, I really love this project. It's fun to just throw on really quickly. have a glass of wine to it and, sit back and relax. Some of my favorite songs off of here are Life Could Wait, Love Affair, and You. But really cool record to own. Looks great, looks like it's made for vinyl. And yeah, a little bit of Larry Lovestein. Next up, we have Mac Miller's dark and pretty messed up alter ego, Delusional Thomas. Delusional Thomas is a very obscure, very hardcore based mixtape that Mac released, where he felt like he needed to release these like inner demons almost. He needed to release this other side of him that was just so ridiculous. Obviously it's played up to be a character and it's not truly who he is, because this Delusional Thomas is a psychopathic murderer, crazy person. Like obviously Mac Miller wasn't that person, but he kind of leaned into it and played this character pretty cool. And some of the flows and raps on here are his best of all time. His voice is extremely high pitched on the whole thing. Some fans like kind of get pissed off at that and they're like, man, I wish this was just like normal pitched. But I think that's the beauty in this record. Kind of takes inspiration from Madlib's Quasimodo, that whole pitching of the voice. But yeah, I love this. I don't go to it and listen to it often, but when I do, I really do love it. Grandpa Used to Carry a Flask is an awesome Mac Miller Delusional Thomas song. It's probably the best one he's ever released. A lot of cool songs on here like Halo, Vertigo, The Jesuits. It's just, yeah. The bars on here, the flows on here are crazy. The photographer for this photo actually reached out to me on Instagram and hit me up. He was like, wow, I didn't know there was a record for this. I said, yeah, it's a bootleg. But it was just cool to connect with him. He was telling me about the shoot a little bit. And yeah, really cool to own this on record. It's just on black wax. I'm not gonna pull it out for you guys. But this era of like Mac Miller alter egos was so fun and so cool. And all those alter egos led to my favorite Mac Miller project of all time, Faces. Faces is a masterpiece. It is my favorite body of music ever made. It is just, like I said, it's a masterpiece. It's basically just showing you everything that Mac Miller is. The core of his being. This album just bleeds Mac Miller to me. Instrumentation, the production on this thing is out of this world. The honesty and the ability to pull back the layers of his own soul is truly, truly one of the greatest things in music that I have seen and heard. The kind of foreshadowing and, self-prediction on this record is very eerie and it's bothersome at some points, but it also shows you how honest and how authentic he was being on this record. Because a lot of the things on this record not only came true, but also they just exposed some of the darkest sides of his life, and in such a cool, authentic way. I just don't know how else to put it. Faces, it's about everybody kind of like wears this mask, right? To the general public, to your friends, to your family. We all somewhat play a character. Like we'll never just like go up to somebody and be like, hey, my name's so-and-so and I have this problem, So Mac Miller was basically saying we all walk around with these faces, but if you tear back that face, what's inside? What's inside the mind? What's inside of yourself? Who are you as a person? And that's what Faces is about. And Faces is about Mac giving us his true face, his true self. That's how I took this mixtape. But yeah, man, just my favorite music ever is right here. I'm holding it. Songs like Wedding, Funeral. Funeral is my favorite Mac Miller song of all time. That song just does something to me. I don't know. It's amazing. It's his best song ever, in my opinion. Grand Finale, up there, top 10 Mac Miller song of all time. New Faces featuring Earl Sweatshirt and Dash is unbelievable. Rain with Vince Staples, unbelievable. Colors and Shapes, unbelievable. Like, what do I have to... Angel Dust. This song, It Just Doesn't Matter. It Just Doesn't Matter is one of the greatest hip-hop songs I've heard to this day. I'm being like so ridiculous, but I truly look at this, and this belongs in a museum. It belongs with like laser beams like shooting across it, and like if anyone reaches to like try and take it from us, they should like lose their arms. Like, this is just, what would music be for me without this? I don't know. Really, I don't know. I don't think any of these albums, like I don't know what music would be without this for me. There's no misses. It's straight perfection. And yeah, there's never a time where I'll not spin Faces. To me, this is his magnum opus, if you would call it, his best. So yeah, Faces. I'll show you the official record. The cover's a little bit different on this. They kind of took out a few things. I don't know why, but it's cool to have this on official wax. This is on a tricolor, so it comes on 3 different colors. It comes on blue. It comes with this. That's pretty cool. Comes on green. Comes on green. And then it comes on red. So really cool. Some of the samples didn't clear for this. So I'm happy to have the bootleg version of Faces because it has the original samples, the original cover, everything like that. But the sound quality on the official pressing is better. So I spin both. A close second, Good AM. I didn't really enjoy this album nearly as much as I currently enjoy this album. When it first came out, I liked it, but I don't know, I wasn't hitting right away. But over the years, this album has become one of my favorite Mac Miller projects, and for good reason. It's his most accessible, it's his most refined in the sense of like his message on the whole project. You know, he came from Faces, a very drug-induced time period in his life where he was trying to battle his addiction and didn't really know how to get out of the dark place that he was in. He was, you know, going down a very bad rabbit hole per se, and Good AM is kind of the waking up from that time period and trying to get rehab, trying to get help, trying to better yourself, trying to just, you know, become a better person. And that's what Good AM is to me. It's a wake-up call. And yeah, everything on here just sounds so crisp, so clean, so refined, and just some of the best Mac Miller songs on here as well, like ROS, you know, Clubhouse, Brand Name. A lot of trap bangers returned on this album, which is cool to see as well. The Festival is unbelievable. The song with Lil B, I don't know why it's blanking time, is unbelievable. And yeah, this album just gets better with age. And like I said, I think this is his most accessible record that he's released. And if you want to start getting into Mac Miller, I would suggest getting into this album first. A great start to introduce you to his sound. And then this comes on silver, which is really cool as well. And yeah, this was a cool time. Oh, Godspeed and Perfect Circle. Oof, song hits, but one of his best songs ever. Definitely top 10 Mac Miller song. And yeah, Good AM right there. Next up, we have the album about love, Divine Feminine. This album is awesome. I remember in 2016 this came out. I listened to it at 2:30 in the morning after I was out drinking in college. And I like shed some tears. I was like a drunk college kid, like just crying a Mac Miller at 2:30 a.m. This album's beautiful. I mean, it marks a new phase in his career of just the instrumentation and the production and the actual like artistry and musical talent that he portrayed on this album is so impressive, and it brought his level of music to a whole nother standard in my opinion. You know, like Circles and Swimming would not be possible if he never created the Divine Feminine. This album's a lot about his relationships throughout his life. People like to assume that this is about Ariana Grande. Only like 2 songs are directly linked to her, but most of this album is about his relationship with his long-standing girlfriend, the girlfriend he dated for the longest time, Nomi. This was his girlfriend throughout high school, throughout most of his career. So songs like Congratulations and Cinderella and all that stuff are mostly about Nomi. Just want to throw that out there because it pisses me off when people just like, oh, Ariana Grande and Mac Miller. Like, yes, she was dating him when this came out, and yes, she's on this album, and yes, she had a big impact on his life, but this album is not only just about Ariana Grande, okay? It's about his entire love life, multiple relationships that he's been in, not even just about Nomi. It's about his whole experience with women. It's a great album. It's got Stay on it. It's got Cinderella on it. It's got Congratulations on it. It's got God is Fair, Love, you know, that one. The cover is just iconic as well. And yeah, just a really cool side of Mac Miller that he didn't really portray on his past albums too much. He did say he created this for the intent of having an album for women and having something that women can relate to. I remember seeing various interviews of him saying like he felt like he needed to make an album solely about love, and that's why we got the Divine Feminine. Great project. This is the original pressing. This was really hard to find when I was looking for it. I got this in 2016 or 2017. And yeah, really cool. Wish I could own the grandma version of this one day, of his grandmother on the cover. But yeah, the Divine Feminine. Next up, we have Swimming. Swimming, one of my favorite, probably my second favorite, or third favorite, or fourth. I don't know, dude. I always go back and forth between my top 3 Mac Miller projects, but this is top 4 for sure. This is Grammy nominated. It's a masterpiece. It really helped me through dark times in my life. It's a very good mental health album. It's very helpful. And yeah, it's just a very authentic Mac Miller project, like all of his projects. Yeah, this one really helped a lot of people, I think. You know, no matter what happens in life, you know, no matter what you're going through, whatever you're battling, whatever you're, you know, if you have mental issues, physical issues, health issues, whatever, you just have to keep swimming. You know, you just can't give up. You got to keep staying afloat. You got to keep swimming. You can't drown. There's just no option to drown. And that's what swimming taught me, you know, like swimming is a place of just getting through life, right? Learning about yourself though, growing as a person, taking care of yourself first, and just doing what you have to do to stay afloat. That is what swimming taught me. Songs like Come Back to Earth, Wings, Self-Care, Perfecto, Jet Fuel, 2009, all massively important songs. The whole record's important for me. And yeah, this album is just, to me, is probably the most impactful on my life personally. So yeah, that is Swimming by Mac Miller. We got the Urban Outfitters exclusive white. This is extremely rare. My sister bought this for me a long time ago. And yeah, it just got really rare because I never printed it again. So this is one of my holy grails in my record collection, and really happy to own this. Next up, in terms of the swimming stuff, I have the Swimming box set, 5th anniversary. I unboxed this in a video as well, so if you guys want to go look at that, you can. I'm not going to open it up right now, but this is the box set. It comes on like a, I'll open it up for you guys. It comes on like a really cool blue, like, not blue, sorry, like pinkish. I don't know, I'm colorblind, so sometimes it's hard for me to pinpoint, but you guys will see it right now. It's like pink, purple, I think. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. My colorblindness is coming out, but it's cloudy, it's cool looking, and yeah, I'll just show you guys that part of it because I think that's pretty cool. And it has like these cool outer sleeves as well. Really cool to own. It has like this gatefold on it, and the sleeves are all different, and there's a lot to this packaging. Perfect front to back album, 10 out of 10. I have little Swimming Mac Miller in Lego form. Love that. All right, next up we have the Tiny Desk vinyl for his Tiny Desk performance, iconic performance. I have a Don't Trip hat there. This is the Tiny Desk Mac Miller record right here. It says a message from Mac right there, love always. You kind of see it, Mac Miller. Really cool to own the Tiny Desk live performances on vinyl. When I saw this drop, I was really excited. And yeah, the Tiny Desk performances are iconic. If you haven't seen that too, go check it out. 2009 with the live strings. Really just incredible. But yeah, that is the Tiny Desk concert vinyl. Next up, we have Circles. This is on clear wax. Circles is a really cool album. Basically, Mac is on a place of just fatigue, but also just extreme understanding of himself, and realizes that life, you know, is gonna have its ups and downs, its highs and lows, and you're just gonna keep moving in a circle when it comes to, you know, the ups and downs in your life. And, you know, you just gotta power through it. There's more lessons on this album. There's more things to be learned from Mac on this album. And I love the singer-songwriter vibe, the kind of Jack Johnson, John Mayer inspiration behind everything is really cool. Yeah, it was just cool to hear Mac from a different sound, you know, like trying out his singing more and trying out this whole new sound more. And it's very interesting to see where he was heading in his career. And I wonder what the third album of this trilogy would have been, because Swimming in Circles was supposed to be part of a trilogy. We were supposed to have a third album after this. And yeah, it would have been really cool to see where he was going in his career at this point in time. And rest in peace. Thank God his estate put this out, and they did everything right. You know, it was completed. They finished it. John Bryan helped them finish any little things that needed to be done to it. But songs like Complicated, Blue World, Good News, I Could See, Everybody, Woods, Once a Day, Surf, all really, really good Mac Miller songs. All these songs are just phenomenal. 10 out of 10. Great project again. The glaze of Mac Miller in this video is unbelievable, but it's deserved for me, in my opinion. Last but not least, well, in terms of, well, actually before Balloonerism, we have Swimming in Circles box set. I'm not gonna take out any of this. It's massive. I also have an unboxing video on this. There's a lot of stuff in here, but this basically contains Swimming and Circles, the vinyl inside of it, with a lot of cool packaging, posters, booklets, all this cool stuff. So if you wanna go see that, that's also in my page. So go check that out. And now we have Balloonerism. Balloonerism was released recently. This was made before Faces. It's from a really cool era of his career. So happy that this came out. I really didn't think we were ever gonna get another Mac Miller project. And if we did, I thought it would be Madlib and his collab project, Maclib. It might still come out, but I was just shocked that this came out. I actually avoided listening to this on purpose for a potential release one day. So I never listened to any of the leaks, and I was able to experience this album for the first time. And man, was it incredible to hear new Mac Miller music. I want to thank his family, his estate, everybody who put this together to get this out to his fans. It's truly a work of art. It's truly, really stands the test of time again. Like, this sounds like it could have been released today, and this was made in 2014. Mac Miller's production on this is next level. The fact that he was doing what he was doing in 2014 on this album is crazy, because it feels like it could have came out in 2025. It feels like he could have made this today. And that just shows you how good of an artist he was. The message on this thing is dark, it's gloomy, it's a little, you know, it's tough to get through, but it's a really good album. Some of my favorite songs off of it are $5 Pony Rides, Funny Papers, Rick's Piano, Friendly Hallucinations, and Stoned. But yeah, what a project, guys. I unboxed this as well. So if you guys want more in-depth videos of this, you can, but you can go look at that. But this is the clear version that I got off of his website. And just a really good album. And now we're done with his discography. That was really, really crazy to do. Now we just have the fun little stuff left over. So we have 82, 92, 7-inch. This is a song with Terminology and Static Selecta. Really just fun song from the 2011 era, I believe. This comes on green wax. Yeah, just cool to own this on a 7-inch. Really fun to listen to. And I posted this, and Terminology actually commented on it too, which was really cool to see. But yeah, they just go crazy on this, and Static Selecta production is, you can't beat that. Next up, we have the Spins 7-inch that they released. This is a beautiful 7-inch. Highly recommend getting it if you haven't. It's on a double-sided, so you have the black side with the instrumental, and then you have the white side right here. So really cool 7-inch record. Yeah, I love it. Really good quality as well, plays amazing. They did a really good job with this. It's a little expensive, I believe it's like 50 bucks now, but I think it's worth it. I think it's a cool thing to own as a Mac Miller fan, and yeah. Next up, we have some bootlegs. These are honestly the most horrendous bootlegs I've ever bought in my life, but we have all the singles that he released prior to Swimming coming out. So you have Buttons, you have Programs, and you have Small Worlds. They also threw in Inertia, which is like that YouTube song that he released. And these are all on clear wax, and they're the worst sounding records I've ever heard in my life. They look good in person, like, and in photos, but they're like lathe cut, and they sound terrible. The sleeves are made of paper, not really cardboard. Like this one just fell apart on me. I'm gonna have to tape it. Yeah, I don't recommend buying these if you see these online. I was really disappointed with them, but they're cool to own, like as like a cool little fun thing. But yeah, you got all of them right here. So yeah, that's literally everything that I own in my Mac Miller collection. That was a lot of fun to make. Sorry, I was kind of rushing towards the end. My storage on my phone's literally at its max. I am just trying to get this one video done without going. Okay, right when I was saying that, the video cut out. I lost storage. I just wanted to wrap this thing up. That is my entire Mac Miller collection right there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a like, a comment, and subscribe. All right, guys, peace. Thank you.